Every conspiracy begins with a question someone wasn't supposed to ask.
Every episode of this series begins with a theory, a claim that seems absurd on the surface, a community that believes something the rest of the world dismisses, a question about who is lying and why. And every episode ends with the same conclusion. The theory is wrong, but the feeling behind it is real. The distrust is real. The sense that something is being done to you without your knowledge. That is real. But this episode is different. This episode is not about a theory. This is about what happened when the theory was true. Part 1. The Architect. His name was Sidney Gottlieb. He was born in the Bronx in 1918, the son of Jewish immigrants from Hungary. He had a stutter. He had a clubfoot. He studied chemistry and became, by most accounts, a brilliant scientist. Quiet, methodical, deeply religious, in a way that seemed at odds with everything he would go on to do. In 1951, he joined the CIA. By 1953, he was running the most ambitious and most illegal human experimentation program in American history. It was called MKUltra. The stated goal was mind control. The Cold War was at its height, and American intelligence had convinced itself that the Soviet Union and China had developed techniques for controlling human behavior through drugs, through hypnosis, through psychological manipulation. The fear was that American prisoners of war were being brainwashed, that American citizens could be turned against their own country without ever knowing it. Gottlieb's job was to find out if it was possible, and to do that, he needed subjects. He didn't use volunteers. MKUltra operated across 44 American universities and research institutions, 15 research foundations, and numerous hospitals and prisons. It ran for over a decade, from 1953 to at least 1964, with some programs continuing until 1973. The subjects included prison inmates who were given LSD for months without being told what they were receiving, mental patients who were subjected to prolonged sensory deprivation, electroconvulsive therapy, and experimental drug combinations, sex workers recruited by CIA operatives in San Francisco and New York, given LSD without their knowledge, while agents watched from behind two-way mirrors. Soldiers who were told they were testing protective equipment against chemical weapons, and were instead given hallucinogens and psychological torture. None of them consented. Many of them were never told what had been done to them. Some of them never recovered. Gottlieb believed he was protecting his country. He kept meticulous records until 1973, when he ordered almost all of them destroyed. Part 2. The Consequence. Frank Olson was not supposed to be a story. He was a bacteriologist working for the U.S. Army at Fort Detrick in Maryland. He had a wife, 3 children, a house in the suburbs, a career in government research that was, as far as anyone around him could tell, unremarkable. In November 1953, Olson attended a work retreat at a cabin in rural Maryland. At some point during the weekend, Sidney Gottlieb added LSD to the after-dinner liqueur without telling anyone. Frank Olson had never taken LSD. He had no idea what was happening to him. What followed were 9 days of acute psychological crisis. Olson became paranoid, withdrawn, convinced that his colleagues were conspiring against him. The CIA arranged for him to see a doctor in New York, not to help him, but to monitor him and assess whether he had become a security risk. On November 28, 1953, Frank Olson fell from the window of a New York hotel room on the 13th floor. He was 43 years old. The CIA told his family it was a suicide. They were given no further details. His wife Alice raised their 3 children alone, never knowing what had really happened to her husband. For 22 years, the Olson family believed what they had been told. Then came 1975. The Church Committee, a Senate investigation into CYA abuses, uncovered the existence of MKUltra. The details that emerged were shocking enough, but buried in the documents was a reference to an unnamed army scientist who had died after being given LSD without his knowledge. Frank Olson's son Eric recognized his father. President Gerald Ford invited the Olson family to the White House and apologized personally. CIA Director William Colby handed over classified files. What those files contained was not a suicide. It was a cover-up. Later forensic analysis of Olson's exhumed body in 1994 suggested he had suffered a blow to the head before going through the window. The New York District Attorney reopened the case. It was never formally resolved. Frank Olson's son Eric has spent decades trying to find out what really happened to his father. He is still trying. Part 3. How it came to light. MKUltra might never have been discovered. In 1973, as Watergate consumed Washington and congressional scrutiny of intelligence agencies intensified, Sidney Gottlieb ordered the destruction of all MKUltra files. Boxes of documents were shredded, years of records, the names of subjects, the results of experiments, the full scope of what had been done were gone. Almost all of them. A CIA bureaucrat had misfiled a batch of documents in a financial records warehouse in Maryland. When journalist John Marks filed a Freedom of Information Act request in 1977, those documents were found. 20,000 pages, enough to reconstruct the broad outlines of what MKUltra had been. Not everything, not the names of most subjects, not the full accounting of harm done, but enough to confirm that it was real. The Senate held hearings. CIA Director Stansfield Turner testified. Sidney Gottlieb, by then retired and living on a farm in Virginia where he practiced folk dancing and tended goats, testified under immunity. He expressed no remorse. He died in 1999 at the age of 80, having never been charged with a crime. Part 4. What it means. Here is the question this episode was always building toward. If MKUltra was real, if the United States government ran a decade-long program of non-consensual human experimentation on its own citizens, destroyed the evidence, covered up at least one death, and faced almost no legal consequences. What does that mean for everything else? Not for Flat Earth, not for QAnon, not for chemtrails, for the feeling. The feeling that something is being done to you without your knowledge, that the institutions that should protect you are capable of betraying you, that the official version of events is not always the true one. That feeling, the one we have spent 3 episodes examining in conspiracy communities, is not delusional. It is historically informed. MKUltra does not prove that chemtrails are real. It does not validate QAnon. It does not make the Earth flat. but it does something more important and more unsettling than any of that. It proves that the worst imaginings of conspiracy thinking, secret government programs, non-consensual experimentation, systematic cover-up, are not beyond the capacity of democratic institutions. They happened. In a country with a free press, an elected government, and a constitution, they happened anyway. Part 5. The distance between then and now. Sidney Gottlieb is dead. MKUltra is over. The Church Committee reforms changed how intelligence agencies operate. More oversight, more accountability, more legal constraints. Things are different now. Maybe. The honest answer is that we don't fully know what we don't know. The documents that were destroyed in 1973 have never been reconstructed. The full list of MKUltra subjects has never been released. The families of most people who were experimented on were never told. Most of the people themselves were never told. And the instinct that produced MKUltra, the conviction that national security justifies extraordinary measures, that the ends can justify the means, that ordinary people can be sacrificed for a larger purpose, they will never be permitted to understand. That instinct did not die with the program. It went somewhere. Where it went is a question worth asking. This series has spent 4 episodes asking what conspiracy theories tell us about the world we live in. This episode had a different answer. Sometimes they tell us about a world that actually existed. Sometimes the institutions failed not in theory, but in practice, in secret, in the bodies, minds of people who never knew what was being done to them and never got to say no. Frank Olson never got to say no. The question this series ends every episode with. The question is what feels different after this one. Not what fills the space when trust breaks, but what we owe to the people trust already failed.